My name is Kimatina. This screencast will show you how to apply data validation for certain data in a Google Sheet. So just say, for example, you had a lot of data in your sheet and you were sharing it with a lot of people. You want to make sure that the data is consistent. So for example, in this column here, this column shows past, and you want to either have a yes value or a no value in here. But some people like to put Y or N, or capital Y or capital N, or lowercase y, lowercase n. So there's all different options here that, depending on the user, can put into the cell. So if you're want to have your data consistent, you would want to put a data validation rule on here. So in order to do that, you would go up to Data from the menu and go down to Data Validation, and always check your range. So right here, the cell range, I'm going to change that because I want to actually use this information. There's nothing here, but I want to use this range in my data validation. And the criteria is going to be, I can select different types of criteria, but for my example, I'm going to do list of items, and I can enter Y or N here, or yes, no, and these would be the only values that the user can select. I can show these values in a drop-down list. I can show a warning message, or I can reject the input. So I'm going to click Save. And now here you can see there's a drop-down arrow, and the only options that I have are the ones that I entered in. So I can actually go in and see what's happening. So you can see here that the value that I entered in is invalid, okay, because it's not an option in the drop-down list. So it prompts the user right away. So I'm going to put all this in. Okay, and there's my data validation. So this showed that it accepted certain values into the cell, and it also showed how it prompted the user with an error message right away to alert them that their data is not an acceptable value for that cell. If I wanted to remove this data validation, all I do is go back into the data menu, go down to data validation. Okay, and what I can do here is just click remove validation, but I have to make sure that it's going to specify on my entire range. So I'm going to highlight my entire range to remove my data validation, and right here I can remove it. And now you can see that there's no validation on those cells. I hope you found this screencast helpful.